Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Channels Television celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. This is the News at 10, a reminder of our major stories. Federal Bureau of Statistics declares Nigeria's economy officially in recession, with drop in oil prices and weakened currency cited as major reasons. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg visits information technology developers in Lagos, pledges to make internet more accessible across Africa. Nigeria's oldest airline, Aero Contractors, announces suspension of services from Thursday, September the 1st. And Brazil's Senate votes to impeach President Dilma Rousseff after finding her guilty of budget manipulation. Do remember that all our top stories can be found on our website. It's channelstv.com. And on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
And now to some of the pictures you sent to our eyewitness portal. First is this one from Sarkinyaki Road in Sabungari area of Kano State, showing a flooded road. Our eyewitness reporter is asking the government to do something about this situation. It's followed by this one from Folks Road in Aba area of Abia State. Our eyewitness reporter wants the government to repair this road as well. And this picture of a bent electricity pole came in from Badamosi Street in the Okokomaiko area of Ojo in Lagos State. Our eyewitness reporter is asking the relevant distribution company to give this pole some attention. And we got this picture from Lekki Phase 1 roundabout in Lagos State. Our eyewitness reporter is advising motorists to adhere to traffic regulations. And still from Lagos State is this photo from Teddy Muo Road in Ojo local government. Our eyewitness reporter is appealing to local council authorities to fix it. We do sincerely thank you so much indeed for sending in those pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's official. Figures released from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that Nigeria's gross domestic product has shrunk by 2.06% in the second quarter of 2016. According to that report, the decline was caused by a weakened naira, a lower oil price, which dragged the oil sector down by 0.36% in the first quarter. Well, joining me on the News at 10 is an economist, Mr. Bayo Rotimi, to look at Nigeria's economic data performance, just figures released by the National Bureau of Statistics. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on the News at 10 at this time. We are officially in recession, unfortunately, so too, after two negative quarterly GDP figures. What does this mean for Nigeria?
Well, this is a crystallization of a fear that most Nigerians have had for a while. Certain decisions by government has led to this situation. Clearly, the current administration inherited significant challenges, but I also feel that there was some critical delays in taking certain decisions.
Which will be?
Decisions around, for example, the foreign exchange policy, decisions around deregulation, complete and total deregulation of the oil and gas sector, delays in constituting government. Even till today, a lot of critical boards do not yet have membership duly inaugurated. So there have been a myriad of challenges. Oil prices have crashed, and we know the impact of that on the devaluation of the naira. We're an import-dependent economy, so without a doubt, costs went up. Inflation is at 17.1%. A lot of companies are going out of business. You just mentioned that Aero has had to essentially close shop. So those are the realities that we have been living with. So it did not come as a surprise.
Let's take a look at the sort of figures again. The government claims that the 2.06% drop in GDP is largely due to the drop in the oil prices and, of course, attacks on oil installations in the Niger Delta region. Right. Will this change before the Q4 time when we're looking at how it has performed in the first quarter, second quarter? Q4 may be better. What do you think?
Well, reality is this. We have 4 months to go in 2016. I guess we have to dial back and look at where we were at the beginning of the year, what the budget 2016 portend for Nigeria, where are we with regard to the implementation of that budget. My view, we're already into the third quarter. Remember that the GDP numbers were delayed. They should have come out about a month ago. So reality is I have not seen anything that will fundamentally change Q3 position. I reckon that if there is going to be a turnaround, we probably will be looking at sometime in the early part or middle of 2016. But for that to happen, there has to be greater policy coordination. We have an economic management team that has to be empowered to take critical and far-reaching decisions to turn around the fortunes of this economy. Government has to take a stand on things like privatization. There are still a lot of companies that government has no business being in. The NNPC must be unbundled and sold. TCN, we have no business being there. The solid minerals policy that has just been announced, it has to be faithfully implemented. Ditto for the agri policy, ditto for trade and investment policy. So it's really about, do we have the will to make this lasting and dramatic transformational changes we desire?
One other thing that the government says that it is investing in agriculture and mines, as you just pointed out now, and so on. What are the steps for a quick gain, do you suppose, that on the short term, of course, to stimulate economic growth?
Well, my view is, first and foremost, government. I am glad that in the last couple of months, government has been engaging a lot more. That is something we would have liked to have seen much sooner. So we now have a solid minerals policy, we have an agri policy, we have a trade and investment policy. What government needs to then do is come up with a clear roadmap, clear timelines, telling the people of Nigeria on a step-by-step basis, this is what we're going to do with regard to each of these policy decisions that we have announced to Nigeria. So there has to be a lot more engagement. Economies and investments thrive on confidence, and they thrive on clarity around governments, whatever direction government is headed to. So there should be a lot more engagement. Mr. Vice President has been engaging a lot more with the private sector. I want to see a lot more of that. Once you start to do that, you start to build confidence in your economy. You start to have a lot of the investors who have been sitting on the sidelines. You have to see them. You see them starting to bring their checkbooks. So you suppose
by Q4 we would have been seeing better results?
Well,
a turnaround from where we are now.
My sense is that we probably will close 2016 in a recession. I reckon that once we start to see the gradual impact, because you see, it's a lot easier to go into a recession than to come out of it. So it was better not to have gone in the first place. But as long as there are deliberate policy statements from government, as long as there is a faithful adherence to those contracts, because all of this is a contract between government and the people of Nigeria. So as long as that contract is being met by government, I believe that the future is definitely rosy. It's been a challenging environment, but certainly, Nigeria is blessed with the right kind of people, with the right natural resources, with the right policies. I think we can go far as a nation.
I'll take that as your final words. I want to thank you so much indeed for talking to us, Mr. Bayo Rotimi, an economist, on the state of Nigeria as it stands today. You're watching the news at 10. Broadcasting from Lagos, of course, celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. Let's quickly shift gears to our Abuja studios now, shall we? Gloria Muzweke is standing by to take us through. Gloria.
Hello, Gimba. Well, commissioners of police have been directed to dismantle all roadblocks set up by policemen on highways across the country. Addressing senior police officers in Abuja, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Ibrahim Idris, also ordered police commands to stop deploying mobile policemen as personal security details to individuals. It is the monthly conference of the Inspector General of Police with his commissioners and other senior police officers. Before the commencement of the conference, the Inspector General presented checks worth 192 million naira to families of policemen who lost their lives in the line of duty. That done, the Inspector General restates the ban on roadblocks nationwide.
I think we have emphasized so many times, even in the last meeting we had, that the roadblocks have been banned in this country. So I want to obviously advise our colleagues, that's the CPs and EIGs, you set up monitoring teams to ensure that we don't have roadblocks under any guidance again. We're having complaints in some of the southeast states that the roadblock seems to be coming back. Please, I want us to ensure that roadblocks are banned.
One of the individuals who was recently questioned by the military over their closeness to Boko Haram, Mrs. Aisha Wakil, has revealed that the group is ready for negotiation with the federal government over the release of the Chibok girls. Mrs. Wakil, in an interview with The Nation Online, said she'd been piling pressure on the Boko Haram leaders to release the girls and other captives, adding that the group might soon make an announcement on the issue. Mrs. Wakil was recently granted bail by military authorities after she was declared wanted, alongside one Ahmed Bolori and Belgium-based Nigerian journalist Ahmed Salkida. They were alleged to have links with the terrorist group and the release of the latest video of the Chibok girls. Well, some students rusticated from the University of Lagos have carried out a peaceful demonstration over what they termed alleged violation of their rights by the school's authority. They claim they are being punished for protesting against poor living conditions on campus. However, the acting dean at the Students' Affairs Division dismissed the issue of victimization as alleged by the students.
Placards bearing students of the University of Lagos in a silent protest. They are protesting the rustication of some members of the student union leadership for reasons the affected students find ridiculous.
They gave us outrageous allegations. They said we declared protest without Congress approval. They said we locked the school gate. They said we locked the DSA's office. They are now picking individuals when the protest was led by the union.
The alleged protest, which preceded their rustication, according to one of the students, was to highlight issues bordering on student welfare.
Issues of shortage in power, not just shortage in power, but the fact that we don't even have light to read. Now, aside from that, we have labs and practicals, no light to do all these things. Yet you want us to go to the outside world and perform. We don't have water in the hostels. The ones we have are waters that when we bathe, we have itches, we have irritations on the body.
Now they feel victimized by the school authority for daring to state their position. Responding, the acting dean, Student Affairs, said, beyond the issue of protest, the rusticated student had other charges levied against them, which they refused to acknowledge.
What some of them did during the protest, tearing scripts, smashing people's vehicle, and the people were there to testify against them, and the vehicles were clear evidence, and they are known faces, trying to dupe Lagos State government, attacking facilities of Unilag Venture. For those specific things, they were punished.
Well, still ahead on the news at 10, our community report tonight highlights the plight of Yalwata Wuji, a community in Nasarawa State without basic social amenities. That's some business news. Please join us again.